Hello and welcome to Property Mastermind Podcast, episode 181. Today we are talking how to overcome that feeling of overwhelm so you can get started on your first property development. Great episode as usual. Let's jump on in. Hello, and episode... Already I cooked it. Crikey. You can tell it's getting ready to the end of the year, getting closer to the end of the year. Hello and welcome to episode 181. As I said, how to overcome that feeling of overwhelm so you will get started on your first property development. Now, before we kick off, big hi to Jai Gill. Jai, we're sending you this book too. Jai bought my book. I was so excited. And we forget about my book, actually. And it's such a great book, especially for this time of year.
What's it called?
3 Wines In. How to have, ironically, how to have the self-confidence today without the hangover tomorrow, basically meaning so you can feel confident enough to move forward and do things. And it really steps out, pretty much this, really. It steps out how to do things, how to do anything. Whereas we step out how to do property development, Bob.
Yeah.
So it's Boxing Day. This is coming out.
Oh, yeah.
So what's your tip for Boxing Day? We're filming this, obviously, way before Boxing Day.
Well, if there's any Christmas pudding left from yesterday, and there shouldn't be, make sure you have it today. I love Christmas pudding.
Yeah.
I wait all year for a piece of Christmas pudding.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't eat it. So he buys his own Christmas pudding and has it in the fridge and eats it himself. My treat is apple crumble and ice cream.
That's a killer. You have the world's best apple crumble.
For breakfast Christmas morning. That is my treat.
There's no law that says you can't have a Christmas pudding and apple crumble. What is it? Apple crumble. Apple crumble, yep. So that's what I'm going to do. That's my law. The Bob's law of eating Christmas.
But your tip was don't eat, or there shouldn't be any left by Boxing Day.
Shouldn't be any left.
No, there shouldn't be. And we hope you all did have a Merry Christmas and a fun time with family. And I know it's extended for many of us. We sort of roll it out over a week or so by the time we catch up with all the different people that you've got to catch up with. Well, maybe you're driving somewhere and you're listening to us today. And if you are, I hope you had a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, same from me.
Alrighty, let's talk about overcoming that feeling of overwhelm. Now, Bob, you've been in this industry for long enough and been educating for long enough. How often have you seen it?
Overwhelm?
Yeah.
Often. People get overwhelmed. Yeah, you can become overwhelmed with lots of things. Just too big a workload can overwhelm you. But property development's a funny thing. It's a fantastic way of making seriously good money, doing it correctly, of course. But then you reach these milestones, particularly if it's your first project and you're just sort of kicking off and you're all excited and you find a deal and then at some point just hits you, holy smokes, I'm going to have to borrow X dollars and I'm going to have to do all this and do it right and, and then I've got to coordinate these people, architect, engineer.
Or even how do I coordinate these people? And,
well, I hope you know by the
which
time
people,
you buy a site.
Yeah, well.
but yeah, it's a big thing. It's quite different from, like, say, buying an investment property where the thing already exists. I mean, you've got to obviously buy the best investment property you can if that's what you're doing, location, vacancy factors, all sorts of things. But property development, it doesn't yet exist.
For that person.
It's a picture in your mind, yeah.
Do you know what? You actually started that sentence off in a different way than I was going, and you opened up a new door for me because you said it can come from like you pretty much pointed out, it can come from many other areas of your life and affect this one. I was more going along the lines of you're feeling overwhelmed about getting started on property development, but you opened another door, which I didn't think of, when you're already overwhelmed in your everyday life and you want to do property development, which is overwhelming. That is, I mean, I didn't put those two together for today.
It's a big load sometimes. You're balancing a job, you're balancing, in some cases, family and kids and partners and, all those things that you balance, plus your own recreation. And all of a sudden you've got to slot a property development in there.
Well, you choose to, really.
Well, you choose to.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's life-changing.
Yes.
It changed so many people's lives. So it's certainly worth not just slotting in, but really making a priority of it. But, yeah, there's a lot going on, when you're doing that.
And a lot of people, I think, and Hillary's guilty of this, so that's why a lot of people, me included.
What are you doing?
We underestimate things. So
Yeah.
we might get started on something and then realise how much we've underestimated what's required. And I think that with property development, that's when it becomes overwhelming, because we do get excited about stuff. Like, holy heck, how excited do you get when you've got a development underway or you're thinking about doing it and you start the actions, and then, oh my goodness, you just hit that brick wall of overwhelm, and it actually stops you moving forward, doesn't it?
Well, it can, yeah. If you let it,
Yes.
how do you not let it?
Well, that's what we're going to go through
Oh,
today.
okay.
Bob. Yeah. Okay, well, first of all, you've got to get practical, but you've got to think about what it is that you want to do. So what it is that you want, your development. What would you like to do? And for most people, it's going to be around where they live, and it's going to be something smaller, most people.
Yep.
And would you say that that's the best way to start, Bob?
Well, if you can do something close by to where you live, logistically it's going to be easier.
Yeah.
We have people do their first project in another state, nothing new, but yeah, it's always easier. I always say the easiest property development you'll ever do is if you develop your next door neighbour's property, but that doesn't happen very often.
No.
I've never done it anyway. But yeah, locally, nearby, that's going to help you, as I said, logistically in terms of travelling. Not that you have to go there every day, nothing like that. Property development's not like that. Not with technology these days. There's so much you can do. As we know, that's another subject.
Yeah.
But technology's changed property development way enormously. We should do a podcast on that one day. How technology's changed Bob's life.
Oh my goodness!
In property development.
Do not start me on that one, Bob. Anyway, we were talking about the vision. My brain got hijacked then.
Hijacking your brain.
Because I actually went down the road of you and technology, and we do have some. I like doing
we're
it this
good
way
friends.
battles.
We're great bedfellows, technology and yours truly.
But I'm meaning along the lines of get that picture in your mind, the clarity of where you'd like to do it. Just ideally, and remember, plans change like everything.
Yeah, and what you're going to do and what you can afford to do.
Yeah, just get an idea, and then from the vision, what people forget to do, which is really vital, is attach your reason why. And I just think we've got Simon Sinek coming in here. What is your why? But when you have a really big why, you will be determined to do something. Interesting. It makes me think of people we've had in our mentoring program, and I know their why, and those that really persist, and those that have the grit and the determination, and those that stay up late and get up early and do the work because they're working full time initially. Those that push through and do it do have a massive why, and they're passionate. It's not just about the why. There's a clarity of passion. There's a desire, and they've connected it to make it something very important for themselves. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. It is important. The why can't be underestimated. It's a big thing. It's that drive. It's a driver. It's what drives you.
And so often the why is, it's not, I don't believe it's so much legacy. Most people, the why is the getting ahead in life. And I think that, people realise it's a great way to just make chunks of money, whether they do 1, 2 or consistently go on to do it forever. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and some people that are driven, heaps of examples, but it could be a little bit later in life, when they realise, gosh, I haven't really achieved what I thought I was going to achieve 15 years ago. Or people have gone through some bad luck, business gone bad, divorce, all these sorts of things.
Husband gone bad.
Wife
gone bad.
Oh, dear.
Kids gone bad. Someone went bad somewhere. And they had that wake-up call.
Well, they're under pressure to get something done. Now, that's a time pressure, right? They reach a certain age, for whatever reason, they haven't got what they want, what they need, what they think they need, and they think, oh, God, I'm never going to retire. I'm going to be working till I'm 90. And that's the beautiful thing.
I hope I'm working till I'm 90. I would like to work until I'm 90.
Okay.
Not full time, but I would.
What am I going to do? I'll be 170.
But I like what I do.
Yeah, of course you do. So do I. But like those people are really driven. We're talking about the why and the drive.
Yeah.
That's an example. We come across that.
Well, I think at the moment I'm noticing a huge amount of, and I think there's been a pendulum swing in our community, and it could be our marketing, it could be anything, or it just could be a sign of the times, that we are getting a lot of younger males in. younger males right now, and not to say that the demographic isn't everywhere, but there just seems to be almost a disproportionate amount at the moment kicking off.
Yeah, it has. The age demographic's dropped.
Yeah. What do you think the reason, and that could be just what's happening with our marketing, they saw us on Instagram or whatever.
Yeah, it can be that. And these people that aren't under that time pressure because, they've got 20 years to go, whatever it is. But what they want is a better life, a better lifestyle for themselves, for their families, whatever that means. And, we are. We're seeing quite a few. Not just males, but quite a few.
Yeah.
In fact, my recommendation out there is if there's any sort of mid-30s females out there, come and join the mentoring program because there's some pretty hot guys in our mentoring program, about 35 to 40 years old, chasing good money.
Okay, so we've talked about the vision, which is really your goal. And if you know anything about, how we work here, it's important to us that everybody has a goal and that you're working toward it. And we do that within our own personal life, we do that within business, because without a goal, you don't have any direction. And that's when that feeling of overwhelm will come because you want something, but you're not clear on what it is. And it's kind of like getting in your car, going on holiday, driving down the road and think, where am I heading? So it is important to have that level of clarity around what you'd like, and that does help reduce the overwhelm. Bob, have you ever done anything in life where you haven't had a goal? Like, can you look and reflect on a time and it impacted you because you were just fumbling?
Well, I've had times in my life where I think like I sort of temporarily maybe not lost the goal so much, but it became a bit vague and. Other matters came in. That's
that wasn't because of me.
No, that's called living, actually.
Oh, right.
But I've never headed off on an endeavour without a goal. Well, how could you? Whether it's when I was younger, maybe a fitness goal or making a certain level of sport, or later on in property and in your own personal life, you set goals. I set a goal at one point to meet a very attractive New Zealand lady, and I had no idea what was going on. And, there you go. Fait accompli.
Well, there you go. Bob set himself a goal. Careful what you wish for, folks. A goal or a wish. So really it's about having... For overwhelm, just have a little bit of a picture about what you'd like. It doesn't have to be set as a perfect goal, but initially have a plan and have a level of desire, know what your reason why is. And it's not just about making money, because money's the paper stuff. It's like what you want with that money, who you want to leave it for, what you want to do with it, what you want to buy, whatever it is that you want. Connect with it, and that will help with that. The next one, Bob, is like really practical, is knowing and understanding finances. Okay, now this is Bob's favourite topic, so I might as well just walk over there and have a sleep. So go, Bob. How important is that for overwhelm?
You're talking about your own finances or to do with property development.
Yeah, just to get started. It's all of that.
Yeah, it is one of those things that you need to be on top. So you have to understand finance in regards to property development to see, well, what can I afford to do? What type of product can I afford to develop? Where can I afford? That's one of the early things. And it might be that you don't have enough to do a development. Well, that doesn't matter. What you have to do then is learn, how to work with investors, how to put joint ventures together, and we're experts on that. So, but yeah, really understand the financial aspects of it. Get on top. It can be, if you just head off and hope for the best on financially, it can be that can add a lot of stress to your life. That can add a bit of overwhelm, but.
I'm also meaning understanding what finance means. There's so much more to finance. It's not like when you go and buy a house, you go to the bank, you sign some forms and job's done. There's just so much more to it. And there's a level of knowledge required, and all of that finance stuff, line fees and commercial finance and residential finance and applications and everything that's required. It's quite hefty.
It is hefty. You're right in the middle of a big one at the moment, I know, putting a project together. And it is. And yeah, you need to go in eyes wide open and have a good understanding, because a good broker helps. A good commercial finance broker, but you can't totally rely on everybody to carry you through. You've got to have that level of knowledge yourself, which helps you not get overwhelmed. Quite often, overwhelm, it can come from having too much on your plate, but it can come from just a lack of understanding of something, and it spooks you. It can get you in a bit of trouble too.
And often you say, when your first development is a good experience, you're more likely to want to do it again.
Oh, you do. You just want to rinse and repeat.
Yeah, so when it's not a great experience because you are experiencing overwhelm, it does make moving forward a second time a little bit challenging, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's a tragedy, and I have come across it a few times. Like you just said, if your first project isn't a happy one, doesn't go well, and maybe it's a project you shouldn't have started in the first place. Who knows? But you're probably less likely to do a second one, and that's quite tragic because you can't blame property development. It's usually there's errors being made by humans and it might have been in due diligence, might have been getting the numbers right, could be lots of things. But property development's it's a great machine. It's a great way of making good money, of course. But yeah, it can get quite overwhelming if through a lack of knowledge, a lack of grit and drive and understanding of why you're really doing it, because things won't always run absolutely smoothly, do they? We know that. And you got to grit through sometimes, but not be overwhelmed, but go see through it, see some light.
And then the next, so finance is something big that you do need to understand. I mean, it's a massive component in our property development course, which brings me to the next one, is do a course. And in fact, oh my gosh, this is coming out Boxing Day, and we've got Boxing Day specials. So check out your inbox. And I forgot, this wasn't even a reason to do this because we're recording this ahead of time. So how about me remembering, only because I had to okay the Boxing Day specials. But we do have them coming out today, so have a look, because everything we offer has got something pretty amazing attached to it right now, and you might want to jump on it. If you had to have registered to receive that email, I hope you did. I won't be checking my emails today either. But it is important that you do get educated, and people say it all the time and we say it, and I listened to somebody else's podcast the other day, two past mentoring students of ours actually saying how you need to get educated, and neither of them said we'd like to thank Bob Anderson. I was a little bit offended. Were you, Bob?
Majorly.
Oh, you were majorly offended. Oh my goodness, yeah, nothing. But anyway, it is important that you do learn, and remember, it's pretty easy to throw a course together, so anyone can rip this one off and throw one out there and give themselves good marketing. But our course is extensive and it's got everything you need in it. So do your due diligence on who you're learning from, but it is important, and that reduces the overwhelm significantly.
Yeah, particularly if you can tap an expert on the shoulder. That'll relieve a lot of pressure.
Well, but it also, because it gives you the process. I just finished a mentoring program today. I've talked about it and alluded to it a few times. So I've got a separate goal outside of property development, and to just do some really big keynote paid speaking events. And my speaking's improved over the years, and I've been really working on it in the background. It's not one of those things that you're not naturally good at. Some people are okay at it, but to the level I want to do it, it takes a lot of work. So I finished a mentoring program, which was 9 weeks long and way more than ours, really. No private chatting with people, but I did learn a huge amount, and now I'm going to have to go back. I learned the process properly, and I can now access them and sort of have some discussions about how I move forward. But I still believe I am 3 months off, maybe even 4 months of being ready to launch that as a business, because but what I have learned is how to do the right process. And today he even said to us, like the presenter said, people are going to say, do it this way, and here's the best way to do this. He goes, don't. I've given you the exact way to do it. Follow this. This is what works. Everyone's going to try and on-sell you and upsell you and sell you more. And it was just gold for him to say that, because I thought that's it. That's exactly how I see things, and people offering stuff, but knowing that they're not giving everything. I now know everything I need to do to get to where I want to go, step by step.
It's going to take reinvent it.
No, and it's going to take a bit of work, but I've got the process and I've learnt from the absolute best. So why would you not?
Why would you not learn from the absolute best?
And so, which brings us to, what we do is you do need that level of of quality educator to learn from. Yeah, but there's plenty of free stuff out there, but you do need to.
Won't get you to the other end.
So, Bob, the next one is action. Once people actually have that in place, they know what they'd like to do, they really understand how finance works, they've actually learned the process properly, probably through the Property Mastermind course. I hope jump on to the sale, and it runs for about 4 days, I think, so you should be okay. Bob, confidence through action, what are your thoughts on that one?
It's hard to take an action if you're not confident. Otherwise, it's basically a risk, isn't it?
I think we take half actions. We don't really take full actions. We don't commit.
No.
We can never burn the bridge.
Yeah. Well, confidence gives you the ability to take action, which, because it's the right action, it builds more confidence. It's what do you call those things? Those spirals, those
Spirals.
positive result spirals. I think
They're
you call them.
in my book. We haven't talked about those for ages. They do. They cause a positive result spiral.
Yeah.
Because you take an action, you start feeling more confident, and then you take another action, you start feeling more confident.
And that builds more confidence. That then allows you to take maybe bigger actions or faster actions, as the case may be. Yeah, and that prevents that overwhelm. Overwhelm's like a blockage where it all sort of just mounts up and blocks you, doesn't it? But if you're going forward with confidence, not unfounded bravado, but build on confidence, which is going to come from knowing what you're doing, which is going to come from education. Then while you're moving forward, you don't hit those blockages, and so the overwhelm is way less likely to back up on you.
Definitely. And you know what I see with confidence and people moving forward without, so they're not feeling overwhelmed. I do notice that we work with a heck of a lot of people who are already go-getters and they come to us to help them get there. So you've got to have that.
I love working with go-getters.
Oh, same. They're my favourite. Love it. Absolutely love them. Because they've got that level of determination. There's nothing worse than someone coming to, want help, but really they just want you to do it for them. It's not that. If you want to learn to do property development because you want to reap the rewards, you've got to have that level of grit and determination. You've got to be resilient. You just got to have what it takes, which is really just the right attitude. Your attitude determines your altitude. Oh, I know. It's an oldie but a goodie, and it's true.
Yeah. Well, I got plenty of attitude in that case because I want to get lots of altitude.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So, what other things are there, Bob, that you see as being reasons that people become overwhelmed? Oh, I know another thing that is a little bit of a problem. When you've got the person in your ear, when you've got other people in the ear, the confidence stealers, the dream stealers telling you why you can't. Had a chat with a young man this morning, another one of those young guys. He's decided he's signing up for the mentoring program, but I rang him up this morning. He said, "What are you doing here?" "Oh, no, you're out." You said it'd be today. And I'm pretty straight up. That was the exact. I said, "Have you talked yourself into it or have you talked yourself out of it?" And he said, "No, I've talked myself into it," which I was really surprised. I thought he was going to talk himself out of it.
That's a good sign for going forward, though.
Absolutely. And I don't push people into it. So, that was a great chat. And I said, "Oh, what, how's it going to go?" And I mentioned something about his mum. And he goes, "Oh, no, I can't tell my mum," because she would be the person in his ear. So we've got to be careful that the dream stealers don't cause us to be too overwhelmed, hey?
Yeah. Maybe in 2 years' time, you just go and buy mum a new car with a little bit of his profit from his project, and mum will start to change your mind a bit.
Mum will. But have you seen it, Bob, before where other people have influenced people not to move forward?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it cause divorces.
But I suppose we see it quite a bit when somebody says,
we're not getting divorced.
We're not married, Bob.
Oh, that's right. Well, I missed out a step there somewhere.
Yeah. But, we do see people where one person might want to do something and the other one doesn't. But that doesn't necessarily always have to be couples. It can be parents or relatives.
Oh, yeah, relatives, friends, working associates, business associates. You see it, from everywhere. But what are they basing that on?
They have an opinion.
Yeah, but what's the opinion based on?
They
heard about somebody doing a bad project one time and losing money.
I don't know. Or maybe they just don't understand it because they don't understand they're not happy about it. Unsure.
Yeah.
But just be careful of the people that are, talking in your ear. If it's something that you want, go back to that. Do you have the drive, the passion, the grit, the desire? Like, find all those words that are important to you. If it's something you want to do, they will help you with the overwhelm and help you move forward.
I know one mentoring student, well, it's actually a couple, and I'm going back, I'd say about 11 years. They couldn't even tell their brother, sister, mum or anything what they were doing because they knew they would have been so negative. And what they did, they didn't tell them anything. They did the project And it was a joint venture. The project made over $1 million. They didn't put any money in at all.
Holy moly.
It's a joint venture. But they made over nearly $600,000. This is like 11 years ago, so you can imagine what it was worth then. And they just...
Each the joint venture
yeah, the joint
partner.
venture partner, yeah. So, you know, I think it was about $1.1 million the project made like 11 years ago, when property was not even half what it is now, or a third. And that's a big lot of money to arrive in your bank account over probably a 2 or 3 week period at the end when it was all settling. And so they casually just showed their bank statement to the parents one day when they were over there. And it probably would have bought 2 or 3 houses for cash or something back in the day, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was, so, like, what could a negative person say about that? Oh, don't do it, you know. Oh, you could go broke, or you could fail.
Do you know their reaction?
It's already happened.
Did they tell you their reaction? What was it like?
Oh, like jaw on the ground. Like, probably thought they robbed a bank until they could explain it. But so they knew it was going to go on, so they just avoided the whole subject altogether and went there at the end. And then, you can't get any pushback or flack after that.
Oh, I'm excited to hear who it was. That's exciting, isn't it?
I tell you.
You will. You have to tell me after this. So, Bob, probably time to wind up. Just know that property development can feel overwhelming.
Yeah.
It can.
Be prepared that it could.
Yeah.
But also be prepared to do something about it.
Yeah. Just decide what it is that you want to do. Start really understanding how finance works. So just learn the stuff you need to learn. And it's bigger than Googling, sorry.
Yep.
And learn from the right people. But once you've got that sorted, just be careful of who's whispering in your ear. You know, maybe join a mentoring program, maybe join ours.
Just hang out with other people.
Yeah, hang out with people that are doing stuff.
Yeah.
And talk about it with them, the positive people in your life.
Yeah. And meet others, and, you know, come to events, you know, where there's other like-minded people.
Yeah, all events. We tell our community to go to all events.
Yeah.
Go to them all.
Yeah.
Not just ours.
Balance it out, you know. And, that'll help out the lack of overwhelm.
The lack of that will help out
not getting overwhelmed.
Yeah,
in other words.
the feeling that was a negative, positive, a positive, double negative.
There was
something wrong
there was
there.
a triple negative positive.
Something. But anyway, what we're saying basically is that anyone can do it, can't they, Bob?
Well, yeah, to a degree.
Yeah, to a degree.
Yeah, but you got to want to, and you got to do it right.
Yep. Well, I think that's it. That's us for Happy Boxing Day. Check your inbox.
Yep.
I hope you've had a fabulous Christmas. And oh my goodness, next time we talk to you, or next time I'm in your ear and Bob's in your ear, it's going to be 2025.
Oh, what?
Holy, I can't believe it. 2025.
I was just thinking before when you said podcast number 181, did a real quick calc, and I'm thinking, well, about April we should hit 200.
Whoa.
That's a cause for celebration.
Oh, there you go. In fact, remember my podcast, so if you listen to mine, it's Bounce Back Better. I'm on episode 62. Remember episode 101, I've got Gary V on mine.
Yeah, I know.
I'm flying to New York for that one.
Big hitter, one of the biggest hitters in the world.
Yeah, that's his promise to me. I've got to get there. Just weekly, though. I just do weekly. No video on mine very often. Anyway, we're starting to get off track.
Okay.
Hope you've had a fabulous Christmas. I hope I got fabulous Christmas presents. I don't know what they are yet. Hint, hint, Bob.
I'm going to go and finish the little bit of apple crumble and a few prawns that are left over. So.
You're talking sort of in the future. All right. Have a fabulous New Year's Eve, folks, and we'll see you next year.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.